Hi everyone, to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite New Year's Eve traditions, Vasilopita cake. It's a Greek cake that's served either on New Year's Eve, you can do it on New Year's Day. We typically do it on New Year's Eve, and there's a little coin baked into this light and simple, delicious cake. Whoever ends up getting it in their slice is considered to be lucky for the new year. Whether you're celebrating with your family or with friends, this is the perfect way to ring in the new year. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to begin with the dry ingredients. So in a bowl, I'm going to add 3 cups of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and then the zest of 2 oranges. You can use lemons instead, or if you're not a fan of citrus, leave it out, that's fine. And then whisk that all together and set it aside. And in my stand mixer that's fitted with the whisk attachment, I love the whisk attachment because it adds a lot of air into the cake and just makes it really nice and light, and everything gets incorporated beautifully too. But I'm adding 3/4 pound, that's 3 sticks of unsalted butter that's nice and soft. I'm gonna save the wrappers to grease the pan with, just so that way I don't have to melt extra butter. To the mixing bowl, I'll add 2 cups of powdered sugar and 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. I'm going to begin whisking this on low speed, and then once the sugar has been incorporated, increase the speed to high and let this beat for about 5 minutes at high speed until everything is really nice and fluffy. Then turn the mixer back to low and add 5 eggs in here. We're going to add them one at a time. Once the eggs are incorporated, we're going to add 1/2 cup of yogurt. Just plain yogurt is fine for this. If you have vanilla yogurt, you can use that. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be Greek yogurt. Any yogurt will work. If you don't have yogurt, sour cream is a good substitute. And then if you don't have either of those two, milk will do a good job too. Let everything mix together until everything is incorporated, and then the mixture is going to look a little bit separated to you. And don't worry about it, because as soon as the flour goes in here, it's all going to come together. So add the flour mixture in a little bit at a time, and once it's all incorporated, stop mixing. You don't want to overmix flour, otherwise the cake will be dense instead of light. So we're gonna butter a 10-inch round baking pan. I'm using the wrappers because there's lots of softened butter left over on the wrappers. I'll just rub this all around the inside of the pan, and then I have this round parchment paper. I'll put it down on the bottom and grease that lightly too, just so that way it releases easily from the cake later on. All the batter is gonna go into the pan, and then we're gonna put the lucky coin in here. You can't put it in without wrapping it in foil first, so that way you don't make anyone sick. So wrap a little coin. I like to use a dime because it's small and it'll be camouflaged in there. You won't be able to see it so easily. I know everybody looks for the coin whenever it's time to serve the cake. So just stick it in wherever you want. If you're using a round pan, you won't even know where the coin ends up. And then this is going to bake in a preheated oven. The oven is preheated at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Bake the cake on the center rack for about 45 minutes or until it's golden all around. It can take between 45 to 50 minutes. A toothpick that's inserted into the center of the cake should come out clean or with a few moist crumbs attached. Let it cool completely. You can run a knife around the edges of the cake to release the cake from the pan. And once the cake has cooled completely, just invert it onto a cake plate and remove the parchment paper. Dust it with lots of powdered sugar. You can use a stencil at this point. I'm using these number stencils, but I didn't realize that it doesn't look really nice because they have a border around, and I don't really like the way this looks. So I'll fix this by dusting a whole other layer or 2 of powdered sugar over it to cover the numbers up, and it still looks pretty. I just like to use these festive decorations on top. You can pretty much decorate your Vasilopita with whatever you like, and it's ready to serve. And that's it for my Vasilopita cake. Just like that, it's ready. This version is much easier to make than the other one that's made with yeast. It's similar to like a tsureki and takes a lot more time and effort to make. I'll teach you how to make that as well. I have done videos in the past, but I feel like sprucing it up with an update, and if I have time to do it, I'll record it this week and share it before the new year. If not, I'll put the link down below where you can find the older ones down in the description box. So if you're using a stencil to decorate the top of the cake, you can use any kind of stencil. I've oftentimes used doilies if I didn't have a stencil with a beautiful design on them, and then I just wash them afterwards. Powdered sugar comes out really easily. If you want to use numbers for the new year, like we're making this in 2024, so we would put 2025 on top of the cake. Make sure you get the stencils that are just the number itself, not with a border around it. Otherwise, it'll look like the little mistake that I made, which is easy to fix with more powdered sugar. But if you get just the numbers, it's going to look prettier. You can sprinkle the top of this cake with just powdered sugar or even make a beautiful glaze. It's up to you. I'll put all the methods on the blog post so that way I can give you options on how to make this. Let's do the taste test. Can't wait. So good. If you like pound cakes, it has all of that flavor without the heaviness. It's light. It's simple to make. It's very moist and flavorful. I love the orange zest in the background. If you want to give it more of a Greek twist, you can add some mastiha in it. So just finely grind about a 1/4 teaspoon of mastiha and add it into the batter. If you want to give it a little bit of a tsureki flavor and you have mahlepi seeds, grind those up and add a tablespoon in there. You can flavor this up any which way you want. Dried fruit tastes really good in here, so cranberries, make sure they're sweetened, raisins, whatever your favorite dried fruit is will go well in here. My favorite is the simple, basic flavor, the vanilla and the orange. Tastes so nice. I feel like everybody will like it. Will go very well with a cup of tea or coffee. My parents didn't do this when I was growing up, but it's something that I like to do now. Have a little goodie bag ready for whoever gets the coin. It's something fun and cute to do, and it's always really special if a kid ends up getting the coin. They look forward to it every year this way. I hope you guys incorporate this tradition in your family celebrations for New Year's Eve. If I don't see you here until next year, I wish you all a happy and healthy new year that's filled with love, happiness, and lots of blessings. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes,